Are you seriously still breathing my air? Victoria's voice cut through the heavy, climate-controlled silence of the office like a serrated knife. She didn't even bother looking down at the woman on the floor anymore. Her manicured fingers were already forcefully dialing a number on her sleek, titanium desktop phone. Security? Yes. This is Victoria Sterling, senior partner. I have a trespasser in my office. Some destitute, filthy woman who somehow bypassed the freight elevator. I want her removed immediately. And if she resists, I give you full authorization to use whatever physical force is strictly necessary. She slammed the receiver down. The loud, violent clack echoed sharply off the floor-to-ceiling glass windows. Outside those transparent, soundproof walls, the firm's elite clientele had noticed the commotion. Several VIP clients in tailored Italian suits and expensive silk dresses had stopped their urgent financial discussions. They were peering into the corner office like they were looking into an aquarium. They were pointing their diamond-ringed fingers and whispering. Their faces were twisted in mild, sickening amusement. To them, this heartbreaking scene wasn't a human tragedy. It was a midday distraction. It was a live theater showing exactly where the peasants belonged in the natural order of the world. Hold on a second. Look closely at the absolute disgust on Victoria's face as she casually invites physical violence against a desperate mother. Does that arrogant, soulless smirk make you want to reach right through your screen? If you are waiting for the universe to wipe that smile off her face forever, pause this video right now. Go down to the comments and type this exact phrase. I believe karma doesn't miss anyone. Let the algorithm know that you stand firmly on the side of justice, and make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Because the brutal trap she is blindly walking into is going to be incredibly spectacular. Now, let's direct our attention back to Maya. Most ordinary people in her horrific situation would be sobbing uncontrollably by now. Most would be completely broken, clinging to the edge of Victoria's expensive desk, pleading for a shred of human mercy. But Maya was not crying anymore. The frantic, terrified shaking in her frail shoulders slowly, steadily stopped. She carefully picked up the very last medical bill from the cold floor. She stacked the crumpled papers with a terrifying, meticulous slowness. Her knuckles were turning stark white from how hard she was gripping the worn manila folder. She slowly stood up to her full height. She calmly dusted off the knees of her thrift store jeans. The timid, broken, exhausted expression she wore just moments ago had completely evaporated into thin air. Her dark eyes, previously brimming with desperate tears, were now entirely dead. They were cold, hollow, and eerily calm. It was the exact kind of devastating calm you only witness right before a Category 5 hurricane makes catastrophic landfall. Victoria, for all her arrogance, actually noticed the sudden shift in the room's energy. For a split second, a brief flicker of genuine confusion crossed the lawyer's perfectly Botoxed face, but her massive, unchecked ego quickly buried that instinct. What on earth are you staring at? Victoria snapped angrily. She leaned back deeply into her plush, imported leather chair. Did your tiny brain not comprehend what I just said? My security team is on their way up right now. You are going to be violently thrown out into the freezing snow like the absolute garbage you are. Maya did not flinch. She did not take a single step back toward the door. Instead, she took one deliberate step forward. She placed both of her calloused hands completely flat on the pristine mahogany desk. You know, Maya started speaking. Her voice was no longer a trembling whisper. It was smooth, remarkably steady, and chillingly articulate. I was carefully reading through the settlement terms your firm drafted for the collection agency. I noticed you specifically invoked Section 4B of the State Commercial Property Act. You used it to completely bypass the standard residential eviction notice period. Victoria froze for a millisecond before bursting into a loud, theatrical fit of laughter. She clapped her hands slowly, dripping with thick, condescending mockery. Oh, would you look at this? The uneducated welfare queen actually knows how to read. How incredibly precious. Listen to me very carefully. You pathetic little creature. The law was never written to protect you. The law was written by powerful people like me, exclusively for wealthy people like my clients. It is a luxury commodity, and you clearly do not have the budget to afford it." Maya merely tilted her head slightly to the left. She casually reached up and adjusted the top button of her frayed winter coat. To anyone else, it looked like a harmless nervous tick. But that tiny, dull plastic button wasn't just holding her cheap coat together. It was a state-of-the-art, high-definition federal micro-lens camera, and it was actively, wirelessly transmitting every single word, every single facial expression of this interaction, directly to a secure Department of Justice server. "So," Maya said smoothly. She intentionally kept her voice extremely low, forcing the arrogant lawyer to speak up louder. "You are openly admitting that you manipulate state commercial codes to illegally fast-track residential evictions, even when you have full knowledge that the tenants possess a federally protected medical hardship?" Victoria scoffed aggressively. She waved her hand dismissively through the air. "Manipulate? I strongly prefer the term optimize, sweetie. Do you honestly think my billionaire real estate clients care about a sick baby in a filthy low-income housing project? They only care about their quarterly financial returns. I legally fast-track these evictions by classifying residential family leases as commercial warehouse holdings through an offshore dummy corporation. It is a legal loophole so massively wide you could drive a luxury super yacht right through it. And do you want to know the absolute best part? Nobody is ever going to investigate it, because the only people it hurts are insignificant nobodies like you. People who can't afford to hire a lawyer to fight back, people who simply do not matter in the grand scheme of the world." Victoria leaned in dangerously close across the desk. Her sharp eyes were gleaming with pure, unadulterated malice. "I am completely untouchable. I play golf with the judges. I own the legal system, and as of today, I officially own your miserable little life. I am going to take your house by Friday. I am going to permanently garnish whatever pathetic pennies you make, and when your sickly kid is out on the street, freezing to death in the snow, you can tell him it is because his mother was too stupid to know her proper place." The venomous words hung heavily in the air. They were toxic, suffocating, and utterly vile. Right outside the glass office doors, the heavy elevator chimed loudly. 3 massive security guards were finally stepping off into the lobby. They were aggressively cracking their knuckles. They walked briskly toward the office with heavy metal handcuffs already drawn. The wealthy VIP clients outside were smiling widely, in cruel anticipation of the upcoming physical struggle. Victoria casually picked up her expensive espresso cup. She took a long, victorious sip of the dark coffee. She truly believed she had won. She believed she had successfully crushed the insignificant bug beneath her designer heel, or so she thought, because right at that exact moment, Maya calmly reached into her deep coat pocket. She didn't pull out a crumpled tissue to wipe her tears. She didn't pull out a desperate weapon. She pulled out a pair of sleek, wire-rimmed designer glasses and slid them perfectly onto her face. Instantly, the entire atmosphere in the room violently shifted. The temperature seemed to drop 10 freezing degrees in a single heartbeat. The moment those sleek, wire-rimmed glasses settled on Maya's face, her entire physical posture transformed. The hunched, defeated shoulders suddenly straightened with military precision. The fragile, exhausted mother, who had been begging on her knees just seconds ago, was completely gone. In her place stood a woman radiating an overwhelming, icy authority that immediately sucked all the oxygen out of the massive corner office. Before we watch this glorious execution unfold, this is your final warning. If you have been waiting for this exact moment of sweet, devastating justice, hit the comments right now and type, "I believe karma doesn't miss anyone." Lock it in, because what happens next is going to be incredibly satisfying. Victoria stopped with her expensive espresso cup hovering halfway to her mouth. For the first time all morning, the senior partner looked genuinely unsure of what she was looking at. The 3 massive security guards who had just barged through the glass doors also froze in their tracks. They were expecting to drag out a crying, hysterical homeless woman. Instead, they found themselves staring at someone who looked like she owned the entire damn building. "What is this?" Victoria snapped, her voice finally losing its smooth, arrogant polish. Her tone was high-pitched, laced with a sudden, unexplainable panic. "Guards," What are you idiots waiting for? Grab her and throw her out. The guards took one hesitant step forward, reaching out their thick hands. If any of you lay a single finger on me, Maya said. Her voice wasn't loud, but it possessed a sharp, cutting edge that made the three large men instantly freeze. You will be looking at 20 to life in a federal penitentiary for assaulting a senior officer of the United States Department of Justice. Dead silence. You could literally hear a pin drop on the thick, imported Persian rug. Victoria's jaw went entirely slack. The espresso cup slipped from her perfectly manicured fingers, crashing onto the mahogany desk. Dark, scalding coffee spilled everywhere, completely ruining the pristine legal documents she had just thrown in Maya's face. What? What did you just say? Victoria stammered. Her face, previously flushed with cruel amusement, drained of all its color, turning a sickly, ghostly white. Maya didn't even blink. She reached into the inner lining of her worn-out thrift store coat and pulled out a heavy, solid gold badge wrapped in premium black leather. She slammed it down right in the middle of the spilled coffee. Maya Rodriguez, Senior Inspector, Financial Crimes Division, Department of Justice. Maya leaned forward, planting her hands firmly on the desk, staring directly into Victoria's terrified eyes. And I am not here for a tax extension, Victoria. I am here for you. Victoria's entire body started to tremble uncontrollably. She tried to stand up, but her knees violently buckled under her own weight, forcing her to collapse heavily back into her plush leather chair. This is a joke, she whispered wildly, looking around the room as if expecting someone to pop out with a hidden camera. You are a welfare case. You have a sick baby. I do have a son. Maya replied coldly. He is perfectly healthy, currently at daycare, and his name is not on any hospital bill. Those documents you just threw in my face, they are heavily redacted bank statements from your offshore shell companies in the Cayman Islands. Maya began pacing slowly across the room, her boots clicking sharply against the marble floor. For the last 18 months, my team has been tracking a massive, highly sophisticated real estate money laundering syndicate. We knew someone incredibly powerful on the inside was legally fast-tracking illegal evictions to secure prime real estate for organized crime families. Maya stopped and pointed a single, unwavering finger straight at Victoria's face. We just needed a full, on-the-record confession detailing exactly how the legal loopholes were being manipulated. And thanks to your massive, unchecked ego, you just gave it to me on a silver platter, in full high-definition video and audio, broadcast live to the FBI headquarters. You can't do this. Victoria suddenly shrieked. Her voice cracked in pure desperation. She frantically slammed her hands on the desk, splashing cold coffee onto her $600 designer blazer. I am Victoria Sterling. I am a named partner. I know the district attorney. I play golf with federal judges. You are nothing. You are absolutely right. Maya whispered softly, leaning in so close that Victoria could feel the coldness of her breath. I am a nobody. But the law you said was just a weapon for the wealthy? Let's see how much luxury it buys you in federal prison. Right on cue, the private elevators in the lobby violently dinged. The doors didn't just slide open, they were practically torn apart. 24 heavily armed FBI agents in full tactical gear flooded the 54th floor. The deafening sound of heavy combat boots echoing across the pristine marble lobby was the sweetest sound of justice. The wealthy VIP clients who had been laughing and pointing at Maya just 5 minutes ago were now screaming in sheer terror. Billionaires in bespoke Italian suits were aggressively thrown against the glass walls, patted down, and ordered to keep their hands where they could be seen. The entire fortress of elite corruption was crumbling in real time. 3 federal agents burst into the corner office. Victoria Sterling. The lead agent barked, his voice booming like thunder. You are under arrest for federal money laundering, extortion, and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. They grabbed Victoria by her expensive blazer, violently yanking her out of her luxurious chair. She didn't fight back. She couldn't. Her legs were completely like jelly. As the cold, heavy steel of the handcuffs aggressively clicked around her wrists, Victoria finally broke. She started sobbing hysterically, a pathetic, ugly wail that echoed through the shattered glass of her corner office. Her perfect hair was a mess. Her makeup was running down her face in dark, humiliating streaks. She was dragged out through the main lobby, paraded right in front of the very clients she used to boast about. Her career was dead. Her reputation was permanently destroyed. She was facing life behind bars, and she was going to lose absolutely everything. Maya stood quietly in the ruined office, calmly adjusting her glasses. She looked at the security guards who were now standing frozen in terror against the wall, their hands raised in surrender. She didn't say a word to them. She didn't need to. Now, let's break the fourth wall for a second. I want you to look right past Victoria's pathetic, crying face, and look closely at the wealthy VIP clients standing out in the hallway. Just minutes before the FBI raided the floor, those exact same people stood there, drinking expensive champagne, watching a mother desperately cry on the floor, and they did absolutely nothing. They laughed. They pointed. Let me ask you a very serious question, and I want you to answer honestly. If you were standing in that lobby, wearing a $10,000 suit, and you saw a poor woman being violently humiliated by a powerful lawyer, what would you have done? Would you have risked your own business deals to step forward and defend a complete stranger? Or would you have stayed silent, looked the other way, and protected your own wealth? Don't lie to yourself. Tell me the absolute truth down in the comments right now. Would you be the hero, or would you be just another coward in a nice suit? Drop your answer below. And if this story made your blood pump, smash that subscribe button, because in the next video, we are looking at a ruthless Silicon Valley tech bro who intentionally fired his oldest, most loyal janitor on Christmas Eve, just for fun. What he didn't know, that quiet old janitor was actually the anonymous angel investor who owned the entire patent to his company's core software. You will not want to miss the glorious moment that arrogant CEO gets escorted out of his own building by his own security team. Stay tuned.